Hey everybody. Trying something different today. Um, Wanted a different layout so you guys aren't looking at my phone just in that same kind of orientation. You also can see my face. So there you go. Face reveal, I guess. But forgive me if the audio is weird. Because I'm still trying to figure that out. And forgive me if the camera quality is weird. I initially had this camera, the one that you're looking at me right now, in where this camera is right here. Then I figured out when I showed the cards, it really couldn't get a good picture of it. It was all washed out. And this camera is actually a little better for that, whether it's, I just gotta hold it up super close, which I can do. So anyway, some stories I have today. I have three. These are from a while ago, where I got cards for less than $1 a piece, um, singles. So first story is I got them for 10 cents a piece. There's a local card store near me, and they usually do sports cards, but they had a big lot of bulk cards, and they basically said, oh, pick out 10 for $1. And when I was in high school, after one of my AP exams, so this is a while ago, because I'm in college now, the I just after one of the AP exams, you get the rest of the day off. So I just took an afternoon and just went in and looked at the rest of them, and I found 10. Most of them were, pretty average cards, but the best of them was this Pikachu from I believe it's Supreme Victors. At the time, I only went for a couple bucks. It's pretty clean. I mean, there's a ding up here, um, not coming really through the camera, but it is in pretty good condition. Now it's worth actually like 7 or 8 bucks, so that's pretty interesting. And then the other card was this Raichu, and this Raichu is from Generations. You can tell from the like little medals they had over there. And this is also actually in very, very good condition. Um, Also going for about 7 or 8 bucks. So considering I got them for for 10 cents a piece, pretty cool. It basically makes up for the rest of the cards. Um, yeah, this is pretty cool. Interesting note about this though. I have a I put like Pikachu and Squirtle and Charmander, any of those cards in like a little separate place, and this is just not in a sleeve. So I don't know why it's worth $7. It's a common, but it's from Gen 4, so I think it's probably going to go in a top loader after this video. The next story was where I got them for 20 cents a piece. Similar story where just I forget the exact store, but it was a similar store where it was just tons and tons of bulk, and it was um, you know 5 for $1, so 20 cents a piece. And I found a few cards. It might have actually been to the same store. Honestly, they might have gotten a different lot of bulk in, but the first card is this non-holo Gengar from Diamond and Pearl. Now, as soon as I saw it was a Gengar card, I'm like, yeah, let me pick this up. Even if it's a non-holo, it's still a rare. Oh man, that doesn't come through at all. But you still get the idea. It's a cool card, and it's in beat condition. You can see there's a lot of whitening on this side and on this side. At least that comes through, and at least a little on the bottom. Uh, Again, forgive me. I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out. But it's still a very cool card. A card I didn't have, and it was 20 cents. The next card I got was this Ditto from, I believe that's Delta Species. Yeah. Yeah, weird thing is that I liked this card because it was because Ditto from, it was from Delta Species, so I figured it was gonna be cool. But these Ditto cards have really spiked in value from these like the EX series when you have Ditto that looks like Charmander or Bulbasaur or whatever, or Squirtle. I want the Squirtle one so bad. But yeah, the non-holo ones are expensive now, and definitely the reverse holos or the stamped cards from this set are expensive now. So yeah, both of these cards, I think they go for about $15 to $20 a piece, which is kind of crazy because a lot of people when they see Pokemon cards, they look at like the holo patterns and they assume if it's not holographic, it's not worth anything. But that's why I was able to pick these out. And don't get me wrong, like there was a lot of bulk that I had to sift through to get through these guys. Man, that glare is bad. But it's pretty cool because you see non-holo cards, you think they're not worth anything. Well, these two are. So yeah. The last little story I have for you is where I got them for 20 cents a piece. And this was at one of the flea markets. And this was a while ago. This is my dream, I think, whenever I go to a flea market, is that there's like a bin full of cards for $1. I already made a video about that, but like this guy had them for 50 cents a piece. And there was a few cards in there. Some non-holo rare cards from the EX series that I picked up. So like a non-holo Sceptile and non-holo Swampert. They're worth a few bucks a piece. But the real winners were these cards. So hidden in the um, bin, they're mostly non-holo cards, but these were actually snuck in there, and I think it's partially because the holo is very faint on these cards. So this is Dialga Diamond Pearl promo number 26 and Palkia Diamond Pearl promo number 27. So it's either he didn't really see the holo pattern there, or he just assumed the other promo cards are not worth anything. Funnily enough, I was able to snag two Dialga 26 Diamond Pearl 26 promos. The other one's in a spare like a doubles binder. But yeah, so these cards, I mean, the reason they're not in the sleeve or a top loader is I have a promo binder, and these cards aren't in good enough condition to be put by themselves on the top loader. You can see there's some whitening up there, and you can see some whitening down here and right here. But these cards are still pretty cool. They're worth a couple bucks a piece, and you got to remember, I mean, I paid 50 cents for them, so I didn't have them at the time. I've since I think I got the jumbo card of at least Dialga, if not Palkia, since then. But yeah, the same thing. I mean, there's just some whitening at the bottom and at the top here. You can probably see that a little better. Um, but yeah, still pretty cool cards. I think my favorite one though, this was really at the front of it, was this non-holo Feraligatr from Expedition. These cards don't really come up too often, and it's a non-holo rare. I really like the art on this, where it's just, I don't know, he's like an alligator. He's like swimming through the deep. The funny thing about this is obviously though it's thrashed. You can tell obviously there's a lot of whitening on the sides here, but what you might not be able to tell, so yeah, there's whitening on all of the edges. What you might not be able to tell is there's just some dirt and stuff on the back. I think my favorite part of this card though is if you look on the front, I don't know what that is. Is that paint? Is that like I don't think it's blood. I like to imagine that this card was just like owned by a painter, and so and so the card was just sitting over here, and it has like a palette of like he's got this canvas and he's got all the little ink blotches, and he's just painting over here, and some of it just gets on his favorite Feraligatr card because I've seen a lot of Pokemon cards. I've seen a lot of damage or you know damage to cards. Never seen that. That's an odd one, but it's certainly worth a spot in my collection. And even in this damaged state, it's worth like $5, maybe a little bit more. But yeah. So yeah, I mean some overall cool cards. Not anything to scream about, but I think in general, it's a fun little story because sometimes we get distracted by all of these like PSA 10 sales and everything to do with um just kind of like Pokemon cards being super expensive, especially now. Honestly, I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace, and man, people are overpricing a lot of stuff. I mean, they've been overpricing stuff for a while, but they, it'll be like 100, 200 cards, maybe worth like $30, and they want like 200. It's like, come on. So it's always fun to come to and return back to these stories where I was able to get them for really cheap. And yeah, so anyway, hope this new style works. Camera's not the best quality here, but I think it gets a little better if I'm able to bring them closer up, at least compared to this camera. But anyway, I digress. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.